This is 6 Minutes English from BBC Learning English. I'm Sam, and I'm Neil. When Helen Russell was 3 years old, her newborn baby sister suddenly died. Looking back at those sad times, Helen remembers making a big decision. She wanted to be happy. She became a best-selling author and wrote a book called The Act of Happiness. She got married and moved to the famously happy city of Copenhagen in Denmark. But the sadness Helen felt didn't really disappear, and the longer she lived abroad, the more she wondered whether her feelings were somewhat connected to being born in England, into a culture where traditionally expressing your emotion was discouraged. In this program, we'll be investigating how the way people express sadness is influenced by the culture. And as usual, we'll be learning some new vocabulary as well. But first, I have a question for you, Neil. In English, there are many idioms which describe being sad, including down in the dumps, meaning you're feeling miserable and depressed. Also, emotions are associated with colors. For example, you might go red with anger and green with envy. But which color is associated with sadness? Is it A, yellow, B, blue, or C, brown? I think the answer is blue. Find out later in the program. Around the world, culture expresses emotions differently. In Spain, flamenco performers express their emotions with colorful displays of songs and dances. Where in Japan, crying is considered weak and shameful. To discover more how British people express their feeling, Helen Russell introduced Thomas Dixon, a professor of emotion, for BBC World Service program, The Documentary. The word sad, as we will know, Helen, literally means sated or full, so its earliest used in being literally fed up, going full of something, or meaning heavy or dull. Of course, we have this huge vocabulary of melancholy, sorrow, grief, depression, and many other terms, and there are many different things. Professor Dixon explained that sad is full or fed up, a phrase which today means being unhappy, bored, or tired of something, which has been going for a long time. For example, everyone is fed up of COVID, but fed up is just one of many words to describe feelings of sadness, each of a slightly different meaning. One of them is melancholy, a kind of intense and thoughtful sadness. Another is a grief, a strong sadness often caused by the death of someone you love. In Irish culture, melancholy is expressed artistically in poems or songs. In other culture, in Yid, for example, it can be expressed by professional mourners who are paid to cry by the family of the person who has died. In England, however, big public displays of emotion are uncommon. According to Dixon, that wasn't always the case. Here she explained BBC World Service program The Documentary, how it was only quite recently, during the time of Queen Victoria and the British Empire, that the English got a reputation for being depressed and unable to show their true feelings and emotion. Biologist is a Victorian and Audian 20th century characterization. As you can imagine, it fixed with the era of empire, of white British men going and having and ruling over the people um, in other parts of the world, and believing themselves the way Europeans are. And one sign of the superiority is Englishmen rarely cry except under the pressure of the accuser's whip. Professor Dixon said that the Victorian British Empire had a stiff upper lip. These men believed they were better than everyone else, and that's a crime. That's a sign of weakness. When we cry, our top lips start to wobble, and this gives rise to the idiom a stiff upper lip. To not show your feelings, what it means, even though it is difficult not to. Most Brits are less depressed nowadays, but it's still hard for some people, especially men, to express their feelings. Sometimes during drinking alcohol give people the restless to say what they're feeling, but not this is not healthy and can even increase feelings of depression. It's talking to someone about their feelings that can really help and keep away the blues, and saying that I've answered your question, Sam. I asked Neil which color is often associated with feeling sad, and I said it was blue, which was of course the correct answer. It gives us an idiom about sadness feeling blue. Okay, so let's recap the vocabulary we have learned from this program about the emotion of sadness, or in other words, feeling down in the dump. If you're fed up of something, you're unhappy, bored, or tired of it, especially if it's been happening a long time. Melancholy is a kind of intense, thoughtful sadness, but grief is a strong sadness, usually caused by someone's death. The adjective depressed means unable to show feelings and emotions. And finally, the uniquely British idioms to keep a stiff upper lip means not to show your feelings once you're upset, even though it's difficult not to. Hiding your feelings is definitely what will make you happy, but making friends and learning something new will. So remember to join us soon here at 6 Minutes English. Bye for now. Bye.